Good morning and thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup with me, Niraj Shah. Now, did you know, viewers, that the market capitalization of Indian shipbuilders is at 75% of the Korean shipbuilding sector, even though the sales are only 5% of Korea shipbuilders. This is as per a note from Pankaj Tibrewal of Ikigai. Astounding statistic caught my eye. I'll try and bring you some interesting statistics every day on Trade Setup. Okay. To markets, what's happened overnight? Flat as flat can be for the Nasdaq. A bit of a recouping day after a 3% downtick day before. The futures as we speak are again flattish ahead of the big non-farm payrolls data. None less anticipated. I really doubt Asia must be doing too much. The Japanese markets, well, about 0.14%, Shanghai 0.32%. The rest of the pack as well, flattish to marginally higher. I would reckon that would be the case for our markets as well. Flattish to maybe marginally higher on the implied open. The global news flow, this is, okay, it's a bit lower. Sorry, I stand corrected. But the global news flow, US Treasury yields have slipped ahead of the August non-farm payrolls report. Remember, viewers, this is a big note because the Fed has laid a lot of emphasis on jobs. And this is the last big data point before the Fed meeting coming up the week after next. And hence, people are extremely mindful of what this non-farm payrolls data comes out later today. So watch out, this could be a big one. I think it'll have implications on our markets today straight too, because I don't think too many people would want to take very large positions open ahead of this data because it could make or break the markets. Okay, US Treasury yields of course slipped. Brent is near 73 per barrel as OPEC plus delayed production boost. By the way, this is a very small uptick. US crude at 69, Brent at 73, pretty much at the lines that they were in trade yesterday. Donald Trump vows 15% corporate tax and taps Elon Musk for federal audit as well. And in other news, China has created its largest brokerage firm to take on Wall Street. I think $230 billion giant, bigger than CITIC as well, which owns CLSA, by the way. So China is really taking on the US on all counts, including the capital markets. Okay, let's get the trade set up for the day today. Increased call writing in the last 5 sessions has been seen on the Nifty, but the quant indicators are still positive, and therefore, while we had this 0.21% downtick yesterday, and while there is pressure on the index because of call writing, I still feel that the cues are still slated on the upside for our markets. There's a probability that we might do better on the upside as opposed to the downside. But there's a strong resistance at 51,500 for the bank Nifty. We are virtually at those levels, so keep an eye out for this one if it doesn't see too much of an uptick. I think IT might be the one that will be in focus. It may find favor. It's found favor with brokerages and may outperform today. Remember, Citi had a note on Wipro yesterday, and Morgan Stanley's come out with a note on IT services today, which I'll take you through in a moment from now. So watch out for IT services, could be an interesting one. The Citi note on Indian markets, though, is interesting. Their key overweights are banks and insurance. So therefore, not just non-banking financials, but banks as well, telecom and healthcare. They have added HUL to the India preferred list, and they have added Bharti Hexacom to the mid-cap stock ideas as well. So watch out for some of these stocks as well. You would want to watch out for some price volume buzzers from trade yesterday. All of these had some very large gains. Gujarat Fluoro was 11%, Kaplan Point maybe 9%, KCP 3%, Ease My Trip 10%. But look at the volume activity versus 2-week average for each of these. So price and volume action seen in all of these, you might want to watch out for some of these stocks. There's a big listing also as well, by the way, so you want to keep an eye out for that too. But the stocks that you need to monitor today, KC International, new orders worth 1,423 crores for transmission lines for Saudi Arabia. That's an order win for KC International. The stock was up 6% on very high volumes yesterday. Let's see if there is more in store in the session today. I'll watch out for this. I'll watch out for Jindal Stainless, has supplied stainless steel for the Vande Bharat sleeper coaches. There was a prototype unveiled as well. These coaches are manufactured by ICF, or Integral Coach Factory, and BEML. Now the point is, because the production may start after the prototypes, this may ensure steady flow of goods supplied by Jindal Stainless to these companies. Maybe some bit of green tick might be seen today. Ashoka Buildcon, it's a one-off because the Pune line has been monetized for a total of 453 crores. But for an infra company, any money coming in is good news. Maybe that's why the stock was up 13% already in trade yesterday, again on very high volumes. But watch out, maybe there is more in store. I wonder if Ola Electric, which was up about 4% in trade yesterday, could see a bit of a downtick today because the anchor lock-in period for the for 50% of the shares ends today and has ended, and therefore there could be some pressure today or on Monday as well. So keep an eye out for Ola Electric. I'll watch out for IT, like I said. Remember, yesterday I mentioned that Citi had a note on Wipro. Today, Morgan Stanley's coming with a note on IT. They're saying that LTIMindtree has been upgraded to an overweight position. They like LTIMindtree, they like Infosys, and they like Coforge as their preferred stocks. They are saying they are underweight Wipro and have downgraded HCL Tech to an equal weight, given its sharp outperformance and limited signals of an uptick in revenue growth expectations. So if you're trusting Morgan Stanley, then LTIMindtree, which has been upgraded to an overweight, could be an interesting one. And they like Infi and Coforge. By the way, they are underweight all of the ER&D companies. So KPIT, LTTS, Tata Tech, all of those, they are underweight that bucket. So bear that in mind. There are a couple of Goldman Sachs downgrades today. SBI has been downgraded to a sell rating. The target price is 742 versus 841 earlier. By the way, PSU banks have underperformed recently, but my colleague Vishwanath Nair has done an exclusive conversation with the new head honcho of SBI. It will be playing out today at 9:30 a.m. on NDTV Profit. So you might want to tune in for that in light of the fact that maybe, just maybe, because of the Goldman downgrade, there could be some pressure on SBI. If you're an SBI shareholder or if you wanted to buy into SBI for a trade or an investment, that interview becomes very important. So do try and tune in for that. The other downgrade from CLSA is an Indus Tower, downgraded to a sell. The target price 350 versus earlier 220. So watch out for both of these stocks. Lastly, I just want to bring up this very interesting note from Goldman Sachs on Vodafone, because it's circulated on social media like wildfire. Now, I'll tell you something about this. Their sell, they have maintained a sell. The target price is 2.5 rupees. Now, everybody's looking at this target price of 2.5 rupees in isolation. Don't look at it that way. Their earlier target price was 2.2. So Goldman has stayed negative, to an extent stayed wrong as well, while the stock price of Vodafone has moved from 12 to 17, 18, back to 15. So they're not saying something new, by the way, with this 2.5, because the earlier target was 2.2. They're also giving the anti-view, which is that if there is a blue sky scenario, then, so okay, the reason why they are negative, because they, amongst others, they believe FCF will be negative at least FY31. But they're also giving the hedge, if you will. They're saying in a blue sky scenario, the implied value of Vodafone is 19 rupees per share, because a lot of things work in favor. So kind of weighing in at both ends. If the blue sky doesn't work, then Goldman is saying Vodafone could go all the way to 2.5. But remember, it's not a downgrade to 2.5 rupees. The target was 2.2. They've raised it to 2.5, in fact, if anything. So I just thought I'll put that into perspective. Thanks so much for tuning into the Trade Setup. Have a fantastic weekend. To all my Jain friends, Michami Dukram, and to everybody celebrating the Lord Ganesha's arrival, a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi.